Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up three very lovely...
Man, thank goodness. uNrekt.
Welcome to the Hex Late Show. It's 43 OG coming at you from Melbourne, Australia. I've got the crew out the back. We've got Bloobum from Vegas. We have got Sammy Chica. We've got Jexxa. And we're going to be talking about all the stuff that's been going on in the last week in Hex. I've just had my espresso coffee, so I'm feeling ready to go. Tangent's going to be a bit late. He just messaged through, said he's probably going to be in the second hour. But we've got some interesting stuff to talk about tonight. So without further ado, let me bring the crew up.
Hey, how's it?
Hey, how are you guys?
Hey.
What's going on, guys?
That again? I'm going to echo there.
Okay, if we are, let me know. I'm on speaker, so maybe that's messing with everyone.
That sounds like we're sorted.
Cool.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can hear the echo.
All right, give me a sec, guys. I'll put myself in the sin bin for a moment. I'll be back.
No worries. Yeah. So Bluey, you're in Vegas.
I'm in Vegas. Yeah, I've just
but
come.
You still made it to our show. It's like 2:30 in the morning there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I had to come on.
You're foregoing like valuable like party time just to come and talk rubbish with us.
Yeah. I've just come from Fremont Street, which is like the old Las Vegas, and it's like where all the casinos used to be before everything got built up, and Hexagons, it was great. Everyone was just like, there was like tons of Hexagons there. Everyone's just dancing in the street. There's like DJs going and like it was super, super fun. It's been an awesome concept. Like the whole, like Hexagons are very smart people and they're very clued in and turned on. And I've been having just fantastic conversations, like with every single one of them. I'm not even going to begin to try to name all the people I've met. Like there's tons of them, and it's been an epic time just chatting with people, you know, like in the flesh, and you know, hearing all sorts of stories and stuff, and yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm a little bit jealous, mate. It's great that you're over there. We're going to be living through you now for a while.
Yeah,
you guys are coming to PulseCon though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I want to come. We should all go.
You're a definite.
When is it?
Yeah,
it's in September, and it's going to be epic. I'm telling you now.
Is that going to be in Vegas as well?
No, yeah, at a different casino. And
Who's running it?
T Money is organising it, and he knows what he's doing. He's going to put on something real special. I've been seeing some of the plans, and there's some things that I would love to tell you that I kind of can't because contracts haven't been signed. But it is fucking like, it's going to be an awesome event, I think. He's really he's an onto it dude. And he's just fully taken the reins on this one. And you'll be very, I'm going to highly recommend it, I think. There's probably info about it somewhere.
Are you going to be playing a bit of a? I mean, you're over there now. You've got nothing else to do these days, have you? So, what are you going to play a bit of a role in that?
You know what he asked me? He said, "What would make it amazing? What would you do? Like, what do you reckon?" And I came up with a couple ideas for speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And but if you guys can come up with like ideas for speakers as well, like who would you love to see Richard Hart talking with up on stage?
Trace Mayer.
Trace Mayer.
Hell yeah.
He's gone pretty dark recently, there, hasn't he? So you'd have to take a fair bit of coaxing to get him out.
Yeah, probably.
What's his story? Who is he? He's a Bitcoin OG, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's his? Why would he work well with going up with Richard? Do you reckon?
They're two very smart guys who are like Bitcoin OGs.
Mm.
Like they're both very smart dudes. So I mean, I don't know how that discussion would go, but it would be super interesting.
You know who I thought? You know who I thought it would be good to try to get? Well, first I said Vitalik. You can get Vitalik there. That'd be.
How would he go as a conversation interview though?
Well, how about this? Vitalik and Dan Larimer.
Do you know what I'm thinking? It might even be better to get someone from outside crypto who's well known, because then you're going to get all the people who watch them, and they're going to be introduced to Richard Hart. Yeah,
but who would you be as a person generally interested enough that you went right? I want to fucking pay the money to go to see that for sure.
Any of the intellectual dark web people,
trying to attract people,
any of those guys, those guys,
right?
Anyone from that like well-known group,
Eric Weinstein or something, hey?
Yeah.
Any of those guys.
And let's face it, I'm sure there's a few keynotes that need to be filled, so you can always have people inside and outside the industry.
Yeah, sure, totally. But I reckon it's going to be great. It's like putting heaps of effort into it. And already there's like a ton of demand, it feels like, from like sponsors and stuff like that.
Did you end up speaking, Bluey, at the conference?
Nah, man, I've been gatekept.
Have ya?
Being kept in your box, have you?
Yeah. I've offered a few times now to talk about Hedron and like, he's avoidant. So that's it. You know what I mean?
Hey, just sorry to cut you off, man. So someone's just put in the Winklevoss twins. That'd be interesting.
Oh,
yeah, it'd be good.
Yep.
You don't think? I don't feel like. Would they have a very pro hex stance though? Those guys, they're so heavy into Bitcoin.
No, they're big ETH guys as well.
Are they?
Yeah, they've been promoting ETH this whole last cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll be big Pulse guys. They could be big Pulse guys. I mean, if they're big ETH guys,
it would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Donald Trump. That'd be good.
Donald Trump. That'd be awesome.
Let Sammy go.
He's just bailed on us.
She just
it was
disappeared.
interesting. I went to the UFC. I went to the UFC fights.
Oh, did you go and watch that?
Yeah.
The one with Kobe?
Pardon? With one with who? Oh, Kobe. Yeah, Covington. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And two of those fighters mentioned cryptos after their fights.
Yeah, there's a reason for it, but yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's a very interesting crypto. We won't talk about it, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like interesting, yeah.
The fact that the person in there promoting it, promoting the coin, he's obviously made some pretty reasonable connections very fast. So that's not terrible for Hex either.
Yeah. I actually ran into one of the Australian fighters just like a few hours ago in Fremont Street. There's an Aussie fighter on that card, yeah. And
I missed that.
Street, so I just want to run out to him. Oh, good fight, man. He lost, but it was still, yeah.
No, you're living the dream over there, mate.
Yeah.
So, what's the general feel? Do people think that it's bigger than last year's? Obviously, the community's much bigger, but has there been a obviously different time in the market? Have we seen as much support over there this year?
I'm not sure. Like they haven't really asked people what it's been like in comparison. I've just been like chatting with people one-on-one, you know, and like that's been the really beautiful kind of thing. Like just connecting one-on-one with people and finding out about them, why are they going to Hex or why who they are, where they come from, or what they think about. There's so much stuff you can like dive into. Like they're just really smart people, Hexagon, and they're clued in. They know what's going on in the world, and so you can just have really good, conversations. Yeah, they're like super pro Hedron. Like that is just like, yeah. I mean, there was one person who kind of, sort of like said, "Can I just say some criticisms of it?" And by the end of our conversation, he was asking my YouTube to see the videos on how to make an HSI. Like it was, so yeah. So but everyone's like,
we owe you props, man. Like, doesn't Bluey deserve some props when it comes to Hedron?
Yeah.
You put yourself out there, man. You did.
You did. Put yourself out there very early. Like a lot of us were being very, very pragmatic, but you had done your research, and you were the first to come out of the streamers and come out and just fully just start talking about it, wanting to talk about it. You got a little bit gate kept even on this show, and but as we can see by the chain analysis, that there's been a lot of claims, even big, even whales have claimed. I think daughter addresses of the OA have claimed.
Okay, this is an interesting one. They've claimed, and then they've minted. So So what do you take out of that? That's an interesting one, hey? Why did they claim and then mint a few days later, whatever it was?
There's no disadvantage either way. Like
so they could have just minted. I'm not sure.
They changed their mind.
Yeah.
They changed their mind.
Maybe
I minted.
Yeah.
I minted some.
Maybe they thought claiming was like, maybe they didn't
fully understand it, which is
maybe they just
itself. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the OA is a little bit busy doing other things.
Yeah.
So Bluey, what's the coolest thing you've done with all the Hexagons over there? Tell us some cool stuff that you've done.
It was tonight. It was dancing in Fremont Street. Like that's old Las Vegas, but they had this massive kind of like ceiling on it, which is video, which just goes forever, and there's people flying on like fucking like wires like across the top. Like you can pay to like get strapped in, and you just get flown straight across the rooftops, and like it was DJs and stuff, and it was just that being out there with all of the Hexagons, either that or just the one-on-one conversations. That's what's been the best thing for sure.
Can you, Bluey? Can you just like, as someone's in the chat, someone has written, claiming doesn't put you on any leaderboards, minting does. But can you explain, like, why would you want to maybe claim instead of mint? Why would that be even something that you might want to do?
Yeah, I mean, so claiming is just locking in the bonus, and minting is locking in the bonus and minting the actual coins or the actual tokens. So if you mint the actual tokens, so one effect that the OA minting means is that we're very far off the AMR bonus now. Like there's been a ton of minted, and there's going to have to be a ton of borrowing. But the SA address of Hedron has run the proof of benevolence twice. So they burnt nearly a trillion the first time, and I think like 3 trillion the second time. So let's see what the OA does.
Have there been many HSI stakes? And just for people, who are not sure, a HSI stake essentially is a HEX stake, but it's just with it's an encapsulated stake. So do you know, have there been many HSI stakes?
Yeah, I've got it here. Hang on. I'm going to share my screen. I'll show you how to look it up as well. I'll show how people how to look it up as well. So
if you're doing a HSI stake, you are locking up HEX, like actual real HEX. You're locking that up into the HEX contract.
So is there a leaderboard?
Actually, I've just got to like do all these permissions and shit. Hang on.
Yeah. So why Louis sorting out that? So there's definitely been a bunch of 5 stakes. Sorry, 5 stakes done. So that has actually encouraged longer lockups on using the HSIs, simply because people have a bit more flexibility what they do with those now, so they can migrate into different wallets and gift them and things like that. So that obviously means that you can, I guess, do these without having to think to every nth degree how your wallet's going to look and things like that, because you've got a bit more flexibility. What I did find the other day, which is really useful as well, is stakehex.today also supports showing your HSI stakes as well as your legacies. And that's probably the only tool that does it at the moment, I think. Would I be correct in saying that, Bluey?
Sorry, say that again.
Stakehex.today is the only site that would show your HSIs and your natives.
No, actually, there's a new site which I wanted to share with people as well. So first, let's just look at the at this site. This is just Bloxy, and what I've just done is I've just gone into the Hedron chat, got the contract address, posted it in here, and okay. So this is now you can look at all sorts of stuff here: Hedron token holders, trades, graphs, stats, all sorts of crap. You can, I mean, not all good stuff that you can look at, and down here, there's been 2,772 HSIs made.
Yep.
And there have been.
Do we know? Do we have an average? Is there an average day or length of those stakes? I'd love to know that. I bet you they're all. They're long.
You can look at it on Etherscan.
You'd have to drill into each contract, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
No, yeah, but you can just kind of that's true. But you can just see. I mean, it's mainly 555s, like Quattro Syncos, like highly.
So that is so. I mean, think about it. Think of what that does to Hex. Like all these people doing these HSI stakes are locking up that Hex for 15 years, or maybe I'm sure there's people doing just 10 years, just maxing out those T-shares. But that's great. That's great to see that happening.
Yeah.
And I think people.
I'll go on.
So I was going to say people are still just testing the waters too, I would imagine.
Well, your last opportunity to get a 10x on the HSI stakes. So your HSI stakes that you make are going to get this bonus as well, right? You know, this bonus that people. So if you do a HSI stake, you can still get bonus. Now it just ticked over to 9x because 10 days have passed. But you can still get that bonus for the life of that stake, all the Hedron that comes out of that stake. Even if you just wait for the days to pass and you only mint the days that have passed in that stake, they'll always have that bonus multiple or multiplier.
Yep. So 80,306 have claimed and 45,714 have minted. So that's like, what's that, 126,000. And I think there's like 300,000 total Hex stakes, somewhere around there.
So let's have a talk about some of the game theory, because the reason why you were suggesting a lot of people may prefer to claim as opposed to mint was in case there was an event where the borrowed Hedron was more than the actual minted Hedron, and that puts the system into a particular state where there's bonuses for minting. Now that you know that the OA is claimed and minted, you just mentioned that means that the likelihood of that happening is now probably a lot less.
Yeah.
Do you still think claiming is the optimum play, or?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, and you know, you've got I don't know what the optimal play is. I think that it could be interesting to play with liquidity, and you've got a choice of the Hex USD, the Hedron USDC or the Hex Hedron pair. But that's kind of I'd go in like cautiously with that, just to learn rather than going heavy in any way. You got to choose V2 or V3. You've also got to work out what's going to happen with the V3 on the fork, and whether you need to, like, if it's a Hex Hedron, it should be okay, but I'm not exactly sure how the bots are going to handle V3 of Uniswap.
Yep.
I think that could be. So you want to, just be careful of that, I suppose, or be conscious of that, aware of that. But that could be an interesting, thing to do, like learn how to do liquidity. If we're going to be whales in in Hedron or whatever, like.
Specifically about waiting for that AMR event. Is that
so waiting for the AMR. So if you're going to wait anyway, you may as well wait and then just choose when you want to mint.
You can still mint anytime you like. I mean, that's an important.
Can you?
And it might be years until it triggers. And so let's just see what happens during the launch, and then see what happens, see what the OA does, if anything, and just take it day, just see how it goes. So it's hard to say what an optimal play is.
And do we get a copy, Bluey, on PulseChain?
Yeah, you'll get a copy of whatever state it's in. So if you've just claimed, then you can mint them on both sides. And if you mint it, then you'll have a copy of the Hedron on both sides.
Cool.
And and I guess it's worth mentioning that at the moment we're in quite a dip in HEX, where we touched that 10 cent mark, which I guess has a lot of people. Like it's weird this week. Like I've got a little chat that I've got people that I know that are in, and I help them out with things and tell them about what's going on. And I've had 3 people this week like say to me that they're like, they're a bit like, oh, what's happening with HEX? It's like, it seems like it's dying, whatever. It's having a terrible run. And I was just like, what I've been telling you for the last year, you guys haven't been listening. Like this is like, and like no financial advice for people out there. You do what you've got to do. But historically speaking, like these sorts of dips are excellent opportunities to buy. Historically speaking, not just in HEX, but in other like cryptos. Now, the one thing that really distinguishes HEX from, and this is what I told them, from any other crypto out there, is that commitment for 15 years that people have. Like there is a commitment for 15 years. So whatever people might say about, the effect of, HSIs or any of that stuff, the vast majority of the stakers who staked, early on in the system and got like a decent proportion of the supply early on, those people are staked long. So those legacy stakes are not going to see, daylight for a long time. There's gonna be a long time before they all hit the market. So I guess the point I was trying to tell these people in my group is that if you feel uncertain about what's going on, sometimes you need to just observe the way you're reacting to the situation. Just observe how you're reacting to the market, and think that like other people are probably having those same concerns. And sometimes that could be your, what you need to act in the opposite. You need to do the opposite thing, and perhaps it's a good time to DCA. I mean, historically speaking, I would say it's a great time to DCA. I know that I have. So,
charts.
I bought the dip this morning.
Charts tend to look a certain way on all assets for a reason, because it's mostly psychology. And as much as, even if you're aware, you can still catch yourself falling into that, the market psychology, where you see the price dipping and you know that you should be buying dips, but you're getting concerned. So you're playing off your feelings against your better judgment. And that's why charts look the way they do, because some people succumb to those feelings. Others have managed to master that. And like Dave 43 has done, he's not worried about the dip. That's the buying opportunity. So it's how you look at these cycles and where you are within the cycle is how you start to play like the whales play. They're not buying at tops; they're buying at bottoms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, for sure.
you got to really just take a step back, like you say, just
I feel like if you
divorce
haven't
the
got that,
emotion.
if you haven't got the bag of hex that you wanted, like you just got to. I mean, it's pre-fork. It's pre-fork right now.
There's so much bullish stuff to be in the future.
I mean,
really
it's
just
pre-fork. This is like a gift to people.
Yeah.
Like it's on a platter for you, you know. And if you're gonna like succumb to being so fearful, then maybe you just haven't had the time in the game yet that you don't realize that this is what goes on in crypto. And look, if you look at Bitcoin, what it did early on, there were long periods in the dips. Like, so, I mean, look, this could go for a while. I mean, it might not. We just don't know. But you DCA. That's why you DCA. You know, you don't like throw everything in one go. You sort of just chip away, accumulate as you can. And you know, look, we don't know the future, but all-time highs. I have a feeling all-time highs are going to happen at some stage in the future. I don't know when, but they're going to happen, I would say.
I think what you need to, in times like this, you need to think to yourself, like, has anything changed? So has the code changed? No, it hasn't. Has the community gotten smaller? No, it hasn't. It's actually growing. And I think we're seeing still triple-digit growth every day in terms of stakers and
really?
And new holders, yeah. So there's a big redistribution event happening for sure. Definitely seeing that play out. But when you look at the fundamental things, nothing's gotten worse. If anything, it's gotten better. The community's stronger. There's more going on. We've got things like Hedron. We've got a new chain coming that we get to play on. So fundamentally, good things are happening.
How about this though? How about geopolitically speaking? Because we've just
seen, everything matters.
We've just seen Visa and MasterCard basically cut off Russia, right? But what actually has happened is that if a Visa and MasterCard, if it's with the Russian bank, they'll still work for those Russian people, right? And also what Russia are doing now is they're getting onto Union Pay, which is the Chinese and the Asian. It's all over China. It's even bigger than MasterCard and Visa in numbers, I think. So we're almost getting like these two parallel like financial systems. Like, how do you think that, and even maybe internets as well? Like I saw today something where like Russia is saying any Russian sites have to be on their Russian servers or something like that. And so what effect do you think like they're trying like that will have on crypto? Is crypto the bridge between those things?
Okay, so I want to put something out there. Well, I was catching up with a few crypto friends, or friends in general, but we're all into crypto. Yesterday we're having a bit of a lunch, and we're talking about exactly what you're talking about, Bluey. And something sort of a penny dropped for me, and I went, hang on. All that's going on, so Visa, MasterCard, Amex, all shutting down their rails in Russia, banks locking up funds. Could this be, and this is tinfoil hat stuff, could this be an event that is orchestrated to bring in central bank digital currencies in Russia to start? Could you see it where there's that much pressure there?
No,
and I don't know whether it's coordinated or what, because you don't know what the hell's going on behind the scenes.
And said, like the central bank said they wanted to ban cryptocurrencies, but then Putin overruled them, and he said, no, it's full of. This is where the innovation is. This is what the young people are into, and da 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 da.
There's a difference though. There's a nuance there. So there's cryptocurrencies, and then there's central bank issued digital currencies. So what if the Russian government can come in? Okay, guys, citizens. All your rails are getting shut down. They're locking up bank accounts. But hey, we can save the day with our central bank digital currency, and we can issue this.
They're going to Asia with the Union Pay, so it's going to be like, yeah. They're apparently in China, and they're kind of that's where they're heading.
Yeah. So this was just me thinking, and I just got a penny drop. I mean, could it be that? Could it be by that this is their way of introducing it and looking like a hero when they do it?
I think we're more in danger in the West of getting central bank currencies than in Russia.
Well, I know Putin's got a shitload of Bitcoin, and he's had it for years. He's been ahead of the rest.
Well, so we're seeing in chat. So China's already issued a digital currency. China's already issued theirs.
Doing that for ages, and they're going to do it, and they're going to link it up to reputation, to your social credit score.
Yep. So Russia and China are moving closer together. Just saying. I could be way off the mark, but it just seems like everything's too convenient.
I think it's more likely they're going to try to bring it in here in the West than in.
I think eventually it will end up everywhere. I think.
Can someone explain to me what the difference is between what we've got now and then that central bank? I mean, I understand, sort of. I guess what is? I mean, aren't we just using digital currencies anyway? I mean, like what?
Yeah.
Are they just going to upgrade? They're just going to upgrade the software, basically.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a software upgrade, right?
Yeah. It's probably just a more
marketing thing, basically.
It's more a direct way where you can really interrogate where every dollar's been going. So probably more been is probably more accurate. So
does that mean they haven't got that technology now?
It's fragmented. So individual banks have their ledgers, and that you can. So within the bank's ledger internally, they don't have the ability. Like the government doesn't have the ability to
bank people. They've been debanking people.
They would be able
but they go to the bank to do that
on a much tighter level. Like they'd be able to say, you can't buy this product, for example, or you can't shop in this shop. They'd be able to do that sort of thing, right? They'd be able to do that. So we understand why decentralized currencies are so important. They are so important for the future of the world. For the future of the world, in my opinion.
How soon do you reckon it'd be hacked? Like a central bank currency?
I don't know that would.
6 months?
It'd be a target, definitely be a target, but
it is this massive kind of target.
But how has
decentralization? The security is decentralized. As soon as you have a centralized like database or something that's doing all of this stuff, that's just going to be like. That's
what quantitative easing is. That's quantitative easing is hacking the system, mate. That's what that is.
But who I've lost my train of thought now.
I think they've found us on this, and they haven't got they don't know how they're actually going to in reality implement it. And I think we've seen how inept they are. So I just have such little faith they're going to make anything of any kind of like that's.
No, sorry, you were talking about security. That's where I was going. So if they're using blockchain as the underlying tech, then I mean, have you seen HEX get taken from people's wallets other than people giving away their keys?
Say it again.
It's pretty secure. Like we haven't seen HEX taken from people. The technology is secure, so they can use the same technology that HEX and everyone uses.
But how if it's not decentralized? The whole point of the security is because of the decentralization. That's the security. The ledger is.
So you can run a private blockchain though.
Yeah, but like you've got one server then to attack.
No. You're confusing the fact that you got. It's private. Can still be distributed, but private.
Yeah, and it still solves the double spend problem, which is what you want to solve, right? Okay. You want to solve that double spend problem.
So it's like a mistake. You just have a number of validators that the government runs.
So on the
look, man, they could do what they want to do. I don't think it makes that much difference to like what's going on. Like as we've heard, like other people say, I think it's going to help crypto. I mean, it's just they're just marketing the whole idea of crypto, and then when people like have got that one, it's like, hey guys, guess what? That's the fake shit. This shit over here is the real stuff, right? Yeah, this is the real stuff. So they're just going to make the onboarding easier. They're going to make the onboarding easier. You know? So I think, and listening to
haven't thought
it's
it through.
net positive for adoption. Like it's going to be a rough road, but it's net positive for adoption. And it's funny. So on the way to that lunch I talked about, just as I pulled up in the car, the news was playing, and they said, there's a real issue at the moment. I can't remember the way they termed it, but there's a crypto addiction. Everyone's getting addicted to cryptos. I think it was 1 in 5 people are addicted to cryptos. Translation, more adoptions coming.
Yep. Hey, this is an interesting question, and I actually heard what I think is the answer on the Adam Stokes weekly roundup that he does on a Sunday. But who is funding the war if everyone is blocking them is my question. Well, believe it or not, between the US and Europe, they're paying Russia approximately $700 million a day for resources, and that's still how much is being consumed by Russia in Europe. So whilst there are all these other, and I haven't fact checked that myself, I got that straight from Adam Stokes's channel. So I actually trust him as a journalist. He's very cluey. He's very well researched. So when he says something, I sort of, I believe it. But yeah, that's. I mean, you're asking who's funding the war. I mean, you would say that it's Europe and the US who are funding the Russians' war.
Central banks through the West. I mean, the irony is that all of these sanctions are just like the Europe and the West shooting themselves in the foot. But they need Russia's energy. And
Hey, Bluey, what's the price of petrol over there in the States? Is it like sky high?
I think it's like double in Australia. Like it's half. Sorry, here it's half as much as in Australia.
How much is it per gallon over there?
I think I'm saying $4 a gallon.
$4.
I think is it 4 liters to a gallon?
4 liters to a gallon. So that's $1 US which is about $1.38. We're sitting at about $2 right now, Australian. So about $1.40 US they're paying, and we're paying about $2.
And I've heard $3 incoming, but that could just be rumors. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't be surprised. Seriously, like
killer.
Yeah,
I'm glad I work from home.
Ride your bike. Yeah.
Well, yeah. What else are you gonna do? And then airline tickets are going to go up. Airline tickets will go up. Food's going to go up. Everything else goes up. Wages don't go up.
Yeah.
Lucky we got T shares, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
So in the green room, you mentioned that you might have a bit of alpha for us, Bluey.
Okay. So actually, quickly first, I want to mention the other website, like besides stake.today, which you can see.
Yep.
There's also one called HSIwatch.com.
Yeah. Yep. Does that show you legacy stakes as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
It does. So HSI, maybe one of you could chuck it in the chat. HSIwatch.com is pretty worth checking out.
So I think the direction we're heading, so especially after the PulseChain launch, is we're going to need a front-end interface that allows you to flip between chains or somehow manage both of your stakes pretty seamlessly on both chains, and or your HSI stuff as well now. So
Richard wants a developer to develop a wallet now, doesn't he? He put out a tweet saying he wants to pay the money to develop a wallet.
Okay, I must have missed that one. I know he sent a few out. He was talking about V3 liquidity pools and things like that, which I've got to go back and decipher those in a bit more detail to understand what he was driving at there.
Yeah,
but I missed the wallet one.
Because PulseX is not going to have one-sided liquidity pools, and so V3 has one-sided liquidity pools in it. So when the bot goes in, how do they translate that into equal-sided liquidity?
We should say that they're not going to have it at the beginning from launch, but eventually they will have it because there's a 2-year period that they need to wait. And then once that 2-year period passes, they will be able to use that code if they want to. So it's just a matter of time, really, before version 3.
Or unless Unity puts up their own
front end. I think it was more about the harvesting side, wasn't it?
Yeah, how the bots handle that. If it does have to convert these one-sided things into a double-sided liquidity, and how you do that. And
will that be like MetaMask, but a Richard Hart MetaMask?
Yeah, that's the one he wants to hire a dev for, and that won't have to come out before PulseChain. That'll be a longer term kind of thing. But that would be awesome.
I think we're going to need that because we're seeing MetaMask already start to geo-block users, and I think that's probably a hangover from. I think they've got like a buy feature in there now. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that? I never use
MetaMask.
it.
Yeah, they do.
Swaps there.
I know they got swaps, but can you bring fiat in any way, or
you can buy as well?
Yeah.
So as soon as you do that, So as soon as you do that, then you've got to start bowing down to the man.
Yeah.
So that was always going to happen when they went down that
bowing
path.
Down or bending over.
bit of both, I think. Copper from both ends.
Hey, but that's a good idea. You know how Richard wants more fiat on ramps, right? For PulseX, PulseChain, blah blah blah. That would be perfect. His own wallet, just like what MetaMask could do when you get your credit card, minimum buy of Ethereum, $250. That's a good thing, yeah.
It's a double-edged sword though, Sammy, because then you have to start doing all the KYC and everything on that wallet. Maybe that's something we keep a little bit in distance, a little bit separate. Get it as seamless as you can, but without having to,
Okay, so here's the alpha that I got.
I've been excited about this.
So there are a lot of these NFT marketplaces that are they're going to launch on PulseChain. There's already, Gerardo's got one, and there's already OpenSea and Rarible, and there's this other, and there's a few other ones. I can't remember them all. Right?
Hang on. I just want to pull you up. Did you say OpenSea is looking to come to PulseChain?
I thought it was just going to be on there, or maybe it's not. I don't know, but there's other ones anyway. There's going to be competition in that space, right?
Okay, so this is not confirmed yet.
They would need to have a front end for OpenSea.
That's not the alpha. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah.
At OpenSea, I just assumed they would, but maybe they're not. I have no idea. So this is the alpha though. There's a guy from rapidinnovation.io, and he invited a bunch of us from the Hedron chat into a Telegram thing just to get our ideas. They're making a market, and the ideas that Alex and some other people have given him, which it sounds like he's going to take on, and I asked him if I could say this, and he said yeah, is that there's going to be like a certain percentage. Like at the moment, it's 2.5% for, I think, OpenSea. Gerardo's one wants to be 2.25%. And so I'm not sure what he's going to make it. They're going to make theirs. We'd like to get under 1%, but that's what people...
Yeah, why is it so... That seems like a lot, 2.5%.
Yeah, exactly.
That's legacy finance cuts.
Yeah.
Now, I think Mintra is a little bit different. I think it does some sort of buyback with half of the fee that it takes.
1% goes to the people who invested, I think.
Right. Okay.
Or something like that. So half of it basically goes back to those that invested in that token, I think, or who can still invest in that token.
Yeah.
So with this one that he wants to do a third of it, whatever that fee is, goes to them for marketing and their costs, I suppose, the marketplace. A third of it goes to Hedron staking. And another third of it goes to Hedron buy and burn.
So not HSI stakes, but actually locking up Hedron.
Locking up Hedron and getting paid a third of those fees. And another third goes to buy Hedron and burn it.
Yep.
Do you think someone's going to just make one that's got the cheapest possible fees? Because, if you think about it this way, right? If you're using that marketplace to trade a stake, right, a financial NFT, and you're paying like 1 or 2% for like fees of the value, it's a lot. It's so much. It's so much. And then on top of that, like let's say you get out of it and you've got your HEX at the end, and then there are fees to like swap that. Do you know what I mean? Like it gets eaten up. I feel like we should be
cutting that back,
leaning towards the
I think there's a big
less fees.
I think there's a big advantage to being the first mover, to grab that market and be the place that everyone goes. But ultimately, it's going to come down. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be which is the securest place first of all, and like doesn't do shit like OpenSea did, where there was some front end kind of hack or whatever it was, or people.
Yeah, it was a phishing attack, but yeah.
I think before that though, they had where like
they had some insider trading going on before that.
They had this thing. They had this thing where if you like, they had this thing. I think I hope I explained this correctly. They had this thing where if you increase the price of your NFT without going in and revoking the old price, that old price was somewhere in the system. So if someone went through and searched for your old price and found it, they could still purchase your higher priced NFT at that lower price.
Exactly.
So that was the hack. It was sort of like it could have. I think that the easy way to fix it was just to force people to revoke it, like just incorporate that into the process when you up the price, you know.
And I think the good thing about what I've heard, the good thing about OpenSea is that the discussion of the price doesn't have to be committed to blockchain. So the discussion, whatever the working out of what the price is, can be worked out separately, and so it doesn't take up those blockchain resources.
Like the server side
decided is that's what's put on the blockchain in the contract or whatever. Anyway, like if there's going to be competition, so it's going to be like who's the most securest, who's got the best reputation, but then also who has the cheapest fees. And so, especially if there's a few marketplaces, they're going to want that marketplace of the financial NFTs, because it could turn into something huge.
Yeah. So someone's just put a comment up about Aussie Family Living.
Yep.
I just want to check something while we're here. Let's go to Hex Daily Stats. Because
it's been 2,720. Yeah, there's been a lot of them. Yeah, but people might be making HSIs for the first time as well. I mean, sure, it's a lot of hexagons that are doing it, but like,
so in general, so change in total stakers and change in total holders, we've been getting pretty regularly like just shy of 300 new holders each day, and just over the last probably 2.5 weeks, regularly 135 total stakers increasing each day. And then we had a bit of a bump with over the last couple of days, so 795 yesterday, 511 the day before, 506. So I think probably that you could attribute to people creating new HSI stakes by the looks of it. Now, I don't know how that number's calculated with the Hedron stuff, whether it's done per stake or because they're each created in their own container.
Yeah, they've each got it's an address, and the HEX contract is interacting with that contract, which is the address, and you are the owner of that contract, but you can move that contract.
Yeah,
it's a fair point that he's making. Look, at the very least, it's good for the optics of HEX.
Yeah, so it seems like that's definitely had an effect. Like the last 3 days numbers are definitely above average, but prior to that, we've still got really strong growth anyway. The numbers, like triple digit growth every day, is pretty good.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Really good. Hey, guys, can I take a quick opportunity to mention we got the Sydney meetup on Saturday, down at the Circular Quay. Yeah, the Squires Bar. And that's all info is available in the Hex Australia chat. And I can post that link in YouTube. It's going to be a bit of fun. All meeting up at 1 o'clock. And thanks to Dub Kuda for arranging it all. You're a good man. I can't wait to meet you and talk some Hex and Pulse Hex.
Awesome. Make sure you put those details in the chat. That's a Sydney meetup in Australia.
Sorry, when did you say that was, Sammy?
On Saturday, the 12th of March.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, even though half of Sydney's underwater, but not CBD. Just like some of the suburbs, outer suburbs, and northern New South Wales and Queensland.
Okay, it's still full on flooding, is it?
Oh, it's full on. It's full on. It's shocking. Because, I work in insurance, so we do all the insurance claims. Like, all these people losing houses and cars. Like, fully, like, the whole shebang is underwater. Like, haven't seen anything like this before in, like, over 100 years, like 1,000 years. It's crazy.
What's going on in Australia? Seriously?
I know.
Fucking flooding and fires. Like,
yeah. You done really some bad cloud seeding on your way over, didn't you, Bluey?
Yeah.
What's the weather like there, Bluey?
It's fucking freezing. It's freezing my ass off.
Jack said it was snowing over there. Jack said it was snowing. It's a desert. It shouldn't be snowing.
It hasn't been snowing, but it's been kind of sunny, but it's cold, man. It's like, bitter cold. But also, I've got all these clothes for the tropics that I've had for the last 2 years. I'm just not used to it.
Yeah. Have to buy some winter woolies while you're over there, Bluey. Is the shopping good?
You know what? I went to a mall the other day because I wanted to buy clothes, and it's sort of like, it's all the same. Just
branded. Is it? Yeah.
And brand and like everything's just like a bit whatever. I don't know. It's just like same as going to a mall in Australia, though. I mean, I don't know. I like to. I'm not very good at shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, so what did you have to do to get over there? Because I know another friend of ours at the Hex meetup, Hex Spaniel, she's over there and she's having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you met her. Yeah, because you would have her and her husband. But she said all she had to do was a rat before she went, and that was it. Like, what about in regards to visas and shit? Like, if we want to go to Pulsecon, what do we have to do here in Australia?
You're vaxxed, so it's a piece of piss for you. You just have to you probably just go, or you have to you have to have a rat just before you go, but it's all set up at the airport for you to do, and you just go there a bit early, do it, get the
They're starting to roll that back. They're starting to roll that back. In some countries.
If you're what about a visa? If you're on a visa, Bluey? You didn't need one because you're
US passport. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get one easy. You'll get one easy. They love the fuck. They give Australians special, special easy time for getting a visa.
Really, I want to go. I want to go in September. Get out of the Melbourne winter and go over there because it'll be autumn or summer, maybe even over there.
No, it'll be autumn. September. Well, I think July, August is summer, so September's autumn. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Hey, Sammy.
Yeah.
Do we have any Hexagon legends this week?
We do. Make sure you show that stuff. Make sure you show that.
All right.
Stuff.
Well, let's get on to that.
All right.
Lots of plum trees, a sheep, a two, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back.
That's a knife. All I had was me undies on.
Hey, so our first Hexagon legend of the week is Suzanne Hexagon, and she's on Twitter as @SuzanneHexagon. She made me that beautiful T-shirt that I'm wearing on screen now. It says Hex Lady. It's handmade, and she's doing it for all the girls And we love you, Suzanne Hexagon, if you're watching, and love the t-shirt. I didn't wear it tonight because I packed it away for Sydney. And just want to send you lots of love. And there she is in the photo. What a beautiful woman she is. Look at her. She's at the HEX conference there, having a great time with the boys there. Thank you so much. She's such a legend. And I think we have another one.
Two?
Yeah, we've got two Hexagon legends, but you're going to have to give me a second because I have to tee the other
for a
one
moment there, Sammy, I thought you were putting yourself up as the Hexagon legend.
Just give me 1 second.
All right. You got to play the clip 43.
Yeah.
We got another one. We got two this week.
Oh, hang on. This one's long.
Oh, choose the other one on Richard's tweet. It's just a screen grab.
So people are just asking what happens if you're unvaxxed. If you're unvaxxed, you have to apply for an exemption to leave Australia. And there's a number of different criteria or categories that you can apply under. I applied for leaving longer than 3 months. And I had to come up with evidence. I had to come up with a compelling reason and do a stat deck of that. And I had to get evidence that I was going for longer than 3 months. I had to gather evidence and ask for permission.
Oh, yeah, this was class, this one.
This is our second Hexagon legend.
Yeah, it's an anniversary for us all. I started my activism.
That's a Hex beanie he's wearing.
Yeah,
it is.
This is like the apparel, version of Hexagon Legends.
Also got into HEX cryptocurrency. I celebrated my anniversary on Bob Marley's birthday. Just landed on that day, and I just so happened to be in California, and I hear this recording going on in the airport. It says federal law to wear a mask, right? And I'm like, that's not federal law. The Bill of Rights is federal law. The supreme law of the land is the Constitution. So
we don't have to watch all of this. It's very interesting.
Actually doing.
So put it to the
It's
end when he
upon the line
celebrates
of
his
the actual American spirituality, which is the Constitution. In a union, that would be your contract, right?
I think it's the last 30
John
seconds.
1:1. The word in the beginning was the word the sheep and poison the plantation. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
I got one more. Sorry. One more thing. I'm sorry, I won't take up too much of your time. To sit in and lead by an example, this is how we do it.
No.
Read the herb.
No. Inspector Parker.
Free the herb, baby. Rastafari, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the Black Messiah.
What a legend.
It'd be so cool if he became a billionaire.
So, do we have any clue whether he's part of the Hex community? Is he known or?
Yeah, he's got a video. He's it's just for entertainment only. He's on YouTube, and he goes by the name of Hex the Establishment. Hex the Establishment on YouTube. So he's got 41 subscribers. So subscribe to him. He's a bit of a legend.
When that was on Twitter, I heard people say, "Is that David Feeder?"
Here, actually, David. Yeah,
he was actually pretty well spoken though. Like if you listen to the whole thing, he went on a pretty good rant.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't hear that there was a whole thing, a whole speech before.
Yeah.
I'll put it in our chat, Bluey. I'll put it in our chat. It's pretty cool. Sure. So, but yeah, David Feeder was awesome. He's a lovely gentleman, I think. He's very smart and very well spoken. Just a nice guy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, really.
And he's got twins. Man, anyone with twins deserves a medal, whether it be a dad or a mum. Like, they are hard work. I don't have them, thank God, but deserves a medal.
Mm.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Where's Tangent? Hey, he said he was going to be late. I don't think he's coming.
No, I don't
He
think
won't make it.
He won't make it. No.
Well, he was supposed to be on the HEX conference with us this morning, and he was a no-show there. So he was probably just getting home at the time I was getting up to get on the HEX conference, I think.
Yeah, so what happened with that? We were all muddled up because I had people messaging me saying, "Are you going on the HEX conference?" I'm going, "What? I'm not even there. What's going on?" And Maddie messaged me, and I'm like, "Nah, sorry, Maddie, I'm not in Vegas. I didn't even know like I'm supposed to be here. So sorry." And I was working.
No, I had every intention of being there live, but circumstances just changed, or circumstances didn't change in Australia, so that made that pretty much impossible.
You were planning on coming, yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it's come together. I was actually surprised it's come together all right. So we had 2 or 3 people that were live on stage, and we had about 3 of us calling in over Restream or whatever, StreamYard, and it actually worked pretty well. There was no lags or anything like that, and we could see all the crowd and everything, or see all the audience there. So it worked pretty well. So it's half virtual, half IRL. It was quite good.
Awesome.
And I think so. Speaking of that, I think we've got a couple of keynotes tomorrow. So I think Richard will it goes for 4 days, doesn't it? So maybe it's the day after. I think Richard's on day 4. I think he's scheduled for a couple of keynotes. So if you're not aware of that, you might want to go over to that channel and check that out. And
so Richard's on tomorrow. He's on tomorrow.
Let me just double check whether it might be the day after. Let me have a look. Why you guys have a little chat, and
it's Tuesday
to sure.
Okay, so it's Tuesday. It's Monday night, but it's actually Tuesday morning. So there's still Tuesday and Wednesday to go. So he'll be on Wednesday, I think. He's on the last day, isn't he?
Yeah, it's hard working dates out and stuff when you're trying to line up all this stuff.
Man.
I went to the 10x going to the 10x, and I was trying to work
in the
out
DS. There's a special room for like all the streamers like on DS, and then when we're trying to work out like if you can like jump into a slot, you can never work it out because everyone's like, oh yeah, no, I'm at this time PST, and so I'm on this time EST. This guy's like, GMT, and it's like we're over here, and between us we've got three or 4 time zones just in Australia. Man, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
You know what the weird zones is?
Sorry, you go.
When I was like flying over, you saw the map of the world and the time zones. And there are these really weird shapes. They're kind of like, how do they work them out? Like on what basis have they worked that out? It's so bizarre.
Yeah, there's some weird shit going on with that, man. There's some weird stuff going on with that. It's not like, I think it was just done poorly, and now we're stuck with it.
You reckon?
It was done. Yeah, I think it was just done poorly originally.
Like purposeful though. Like
it might have been done. There might have been territories that
you look at the
try and keep in the same time zone. Yeah, not sure.
There's kind of these weird cutout things that are going all over the place.
So sorry, Sammy. I'll finish off on the speaker. So tomorrow there's a keynote from Aubrey de Grey. So very end session, Aubrey de Grey. So that might be worth a bit of a look. And then on day 4, the Crypto Sparbook guys are doing a talk before lunch. And then, Richard's doing the keynote at, I won't tell the Vegas time, it's 4 p.m, so you can figure that out for yourself. So Richard will be doing a keynote there, and then it's going to go into like a keynote social where Richard will stay online, and I guess he'll be joined by a few hexagons.
Bluey, you had a talk with the Crypto Sparbook guys. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
What was it like to meet them? They've been around the joint, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean, they got a whole thing going. Like I went to that was the first place I went from the airport because we booked it in. So I went to their place and like they had pink flamingos all around the house, and they've rented out this whole house, and it's like just like all these people, like doing all sorts of different roles and stuff like that. They got this whole little hive of people just like have been traveling around the country with them, and like, well, you know, got all the flash cars, the hex cars and the pulse cars and the and yeah, it was a great time.
So the big question is, are you going to Nagabo's mansion party?
Oh yeah.
The mansion party. When is it?
So I think tomorrow Freddie Quotes is having a what do you call it? What's that? Penthouse party.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Nagabo's is on Wednesday. Yeah, that'll be the kind of final day of the thing.
Oh, well, you going to both, Louis?
As well. Is that again?
You going to both?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah. Please send us some photos.
Yeah, we were at a chandelier bar last night, like this bar, which is just inside this massive chandelier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having these weird drinks with Szechuan flowers in them that you kind of chew and then
cool.
Yeah, a bit different.
You go in the casino over there, Bluey?
I've got no interest whatsoever. Like you walk through the casinos to get to do anything, and it's just like all this fucking Disneyland bling, and that's like the last thing I want to do is give any one of those dudes my money. Like,
yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm just not interested. And it's just, I'm just not. I haven't got any attraction to it at all.
Apparently, someone just nuked themselves.
Yeah. So they had, if I'm reading this correctly, they had a stake of 2.6 mil. Had a payout of 5.2 mil, but a penalty of 7.8 mil because they only served just under 800 days of a 3,000-day stake. So they just nuked it.
Crazy.
People don't read the instructions on the can, do they?
No, they do not.
Mm-hmm.
They minted and sold their Hedron too.
Oh,
so
really?
They actually knew.
Oh, right. Maybe
they must have.
They just need the money desperately.
Maybe it is an emergency.
So how much did they make out with that?
With the Hedron.
That actually sounds like a hack to me. That sounds like a hack. That just doesn't make sense.
Possibly. Like what? Yeah, why would you blow up your stake like that?
Yeah, it doesn't sounds like someone's lost their seed phrase and.
Did anyone drop like
machine rank? Degen, maybe he just doesn't know what he's doing.
So
how could you not know what you're doing if you claimed your Hedron? Like, do you know what I mean? Like that's you have to have a level of awareness that's above and beyond just your.
That it was 10 cents, and he said, "I'm just going to sell all this shit and just get as much money as I can out of it right now." And he didn't realize how bad a penalty it was, or maybe it
doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me.
It's so hard to know. It's so hard to know what happens in other people's lives and then what their motivations are. Like you never.
How much did they get? How many hex did they get out of that? Did they get any?
No, they
totally nuked.
Nuked the whole lot.
Right.
Really?
They don't know what they're
doing. Hey, did anyone go like down a shitload of ranks in the leagues on the Staker app, or just me?
I think there was a glitch at one stage and you had to refresh. I think but it was the opposite. I thought people were moving up.
Oh, that's what I mean. Moving up and moving down. Yeah. You know how like the downs are.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I know there was like a massive like glitch, but it's still, if you look today, it's still like a big difference to what it was.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention today, to be honest. So someone's just put in there the MetaMask FUD. Have I missed something there? What's that about? Top of the tower?
I don't know. It was 6 billion Hedron they sold. I mean, that's a bit.
How much is that, Bluey? 6 billion? Is that around about
$6,000? $6,000.
Yeah.
Why is it?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think the price was 0.0013, and then it went up to 1.4.
Yeah, it's like five. They've been 5 zeros, 6 zeros, just going in between there. I think.
It strikes me as
I was reading that wrong. So it's
that's what it strikes me as.
Hey guys, if you got a MetaMask and you it says it's locked and you can't use it, do you have to redo your whole MetaMask, or is there a way of getting back into it?
Password?
No, if it says locked and you can't unlock it,
that's a password issue.
It's a password issue, is it? So do you reckon just redo it and put your whole seed phrase in and create a new wallet?
If you've got your seed phrase, then you go.
Last resort, but try to remember the password.
Yeah. You can put your seed phrase into a hardware wallet, though.
Or do it on a different browser. Fire up a new MetaMask. Make sure it works before you blow the other one away.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, guys.
So apparently, Tangent's on his way. Apparently. So
do you think he just needed to quickly end a stake?
The end stake.
Let's see if we can get Tangent in. Mr. Tangent, welcome.
Tangent,
belated welcome.
Yo, what's up,
bro?
Yo, my PulseChain t-shirts arrived. I've got this in 3 colors.
Hey,
oh, that's
how is everyone?
Can you hold it up?
Yeah, how sick are these?
Good. Cool.
I can't remember who. I thought it was one of you guys that was wearing. Oh no, that was the Zen. That was the Hex Zen spaceman. Bloobum was wearing that. So I didn't find these. I saw someone else wearing one and asked them where they got it from. So, but I can't remember where. Anyway, how is everyone?
Good. How are you, Tangent? All right.
Yeah, really good.
So have you been listening in? We've been getting all the goss from Bloobum. I don't know if you've been paying attention or.
No, not yet. Has Bloobum settled into his new location?
Yeah, so Bluey, maybe if you could just repeat the last hour for Tangent.
No. I can go back and watch it later. That's fine. That's fine. That's you can give me the you can just give me the thumbs up, thumbs down. It's been a thumbs up.
Been out dancing in Fremont Street tonight and just hanging out with heaps of Hexagons, and it's been awesome. Yeah, really awesome. Tuned in people, and friendly, super friendly.
So basically, it's going to be an Australian invasion for PulseCon.
Yeah, Tangent, let's go to Pulsecon. September 69. Let's go, bro.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's
and
in
what month did you say? September. September, did you say?
Yeah.
Bluey said it's going to be madness over there. It's going to be like the biggest, best event yet.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
So it's over 6. So it's just over 6 months. That sounds possible. I'm obviously not going to commit to anything just yet, but yeah, I would be excited to if we could make it work.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Tell Richard that if he pumps the hex price a little bit, I'll go.
I was waiting for commentary on that.
Or releases Pulse.
Yeah.
Either release Pulse or pump Hex, just one or the other. Yeah,
hey man, I'm sure Richard releases pulses all the time, man. Hey, can you tell us a little bit about your perspective on the price? Like I always like hearing your perspective when we're low.
It's wrecked. It's wrecked. It's absolutely wrecked.
It's like I bought today, man. I bought today.
I went to, and then I ran out of time. I had to leave to go to a friend's house, but I wanted to. I think it was at about 10.9. Like as soon as I saw it under 11 cents, I was like, that's got to be a good buy.
It's 10.7.
I mean, now it's man. It's 10.7, so it is lower. But at the time, I thought that was likely to be a bottom. I mean, the next serious support level I see is like 9.7 cents. That was from a local high back in June of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, look, if you're in the chat or you're watching, like you've got two like OG guys like Hex OG guys. I'm not no Bitcoin OG like Tangent, but Hex OG guys talking about buying this dip, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, do what you want with that information, but we're talking about it and we're doing it. It looks to me, I just see these prices. It looks too juicy. It just seems too juicy to me. But I understand people get fudded out by low prices. I get excited by it.
It goes when it's hard to push the buy button. That's probably the time you should be doing it. Or when it feels hard to do it.
We're 79% down from all-time high. That's huge. That is huge.
Yep. So that's pretty much. So our only other biggest dip compared to that one was after the big payday, which was an 87, was it? Wick. That was a wick though. So wick down for that. So this is a this is a bargain at the moment. I'm just having a look at another one that we went through. Yeah, our last really long drawn out one. Well, it looks very similar in terms of a charting pattern to what we're looking at now. That was a 68% dip.
And
so,
what makes it a little bit easier as well, the fees are just beautiful at the moment. I mean, when I say beautiful, they're still like, they're still there. But but compared to like some of the crap that we've paid, like I've seen fees, like I've paid fees of like 700-800 plus, for one transaction when it needs to happen, and just seeing things seeing Gwei at like 18, 20, like 20, 22, just seeing it in that zone, just
I think when I went to buy it was a bit of a the fee looked like $24 or something. It was like $20, $24 as a fee to swap USDC into Hex.
Yep, so it was a bit of a gift for all the people minting or claiming their Hedron over the weekend. That was a big gift for everyone. That cut the fees down substantially to do anything like that. So I hope everyone made the most of that and done any start stakes and end stakes that they needed to. Soon that'll be a thing of the past. Well, it won't be a thing of the past, but there'll be a chain where you'll be able to be a little bit more aggressive with your stakes in terms of how many you have and how often you're starting and stopping these things. Obviously.
I started staking Hex again because you know how I'd stopped making Hex stakes. I was going to wait for Pulse, and then when the gas started getting really low, I was like, I'm just going to start. Because I think it should pretty much only get better if we either from we continuing the market being bearish will reduce fees, or them coming up with innovative ways to try and do pseudo scaling. I think the fees. So the fear of starting a Hex stake now and when it ends in like say 90 days, 180 days or longer, I think it's pretty safe to say that the fees should be the same or lower, maybe. So I started staking again.
Yeah, so there was probably, let's be fair, there were probably a few people that were priced out of doing shorter stakes. So maybe now that's an option for them as well. If you're in a position where you don't have to have liquid Hex, I would suggest you stake it. Because the 1 or 2 Hex that you earn today at 10 cents in a year's time could be worth $1 or more. So they add up pretty quick. I think a lot of people that got in early, myself included, made the mistake of sitting there with just liquid sitting around being lazy.
I did it.
Yep. And boy, am I kicking myself now because that would have made a substantial difference. Not in terms of, I guess in terms of the Hex count that you had, but also the multiples of X that Hex count has gone up.
Is that because you potentially needed the liquidity?
No, I didn't. That's the stupid thing. I just, I don't know. I guess when it was earlier, you're a little bit uncertain, didn't want to lock it all away. And look, let's face it, I was still in the old crypto mindset, where you're always looking for the exits. So yeah, I guess I didn't lock as much as what I should have. and at that point in time, it was worth a lot less. So you might have made, I don't know, let's say you've done a short stake and you made $50 worth of HEX. You go, yeah, big deal. But now that $50 might be worth $5,000 or $10,000 or who knows. But so you've got to realize the opportunity cost in the future of leaving that on the table.
So someone asked before, so Pulse 777, I just remembered a question that if you can buy Hedron or just you can mint it. And yeah, you can buy it. There's two pools on Uniswap. There's Hedron HEX and Hedron USDC. But you can, if you've got Ethereum, they'll route through. If you've got anything else, you can route through to get Hedron. And it's interesting. It's kind of just gone sideways. Continues to go sideways.
That's not bad though.
There's been a few big dumps, but then people that have bought stuff up for really cheap. Yeah.
I think people are actually they're seeing where it could go, and then they're hoarding it, which is that's fine. You get a few people dumping it, but a lot of people they're going along for the ride. See what happens. Actually, there was one thing I wanted while we're back on this subject. There was one thing I wanted to pick your brain on a game which you've told me a couple of times, but just so I can drill it into my thick head. There's a scenario where you can create a HSI stake that you intend on borrowing against, but then you can set up a counterparty, well, not a counterparty, that's the wrong word, but I guess another side to that where you can mint Hedron to make sure you can cover the debt on the borrowed side.
Yep.
Can you just explain that? Because I know there's a bit of nuance there to that, and it'd be good for people to understand that.
You can do it in a number of ways. Like, and it's going to be different on Ethereum and Pulse because each thing is a transaction. So each payback will be a gas transaction. Pulse that way better, but you might have to think about it, right? But you basically get two HSIs. One you borrow on, and you're borrowing at the base rate. So this is assuming also you have two HSIs. Well, that you're doing during this bonus phase. So the 10x is gone, so now it's a 9x. So let's say you have one 9x and another 9x. On that one, you borrow, but you can only borrow at the base rate. So you've got 10 times as much Hedron over here that can be minted along the way. Now you pay a little bit of interest on this one. But if you have something good to do with that Hedron, like if you think Hedron is at a high price and you want to swap it, let's say, for HEX, if you think that ratio, if that Hedron is high and HEX is relatively low to Hedron, you could just sell that Hedron, swap that Hedron for HEX, make another HSI, borrow on that, swap the Hedron for HEX, make an HSI, and you could do that a number of times because you've got 10 times the amount of Hedron here that you can mint. You could do it a number of times. Or what you could do is you could make two HSI stakes, and in this one, just put a little bit extra, like 10% more or 5% more or something. So it's enough to pay off that borrow.
Right. So the one you're intending to use is the one that pays
well,
back.
It's actually 10th less. It's only 10% of. Well, you'll have to do the maths. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can kind of see how much you're going to get per day served, like 30 days served, and you can work out how much Hedron. That you were me. Well, I was you. Yeah. There was someone else. They said, "Oh yeah, I saw you on that stream with Cabana, and when Richard Hart came on, and you had that trader dude, you were in his car or whatever." Richard made.
I think it might have come out because Feeder got on a stream once, and he called me Bloobum for the stream or something.
Yeah, and then they invited me on. They thought they were inviting you on tonight, and I'm just like, I don't know.
What am I doing here? I knew there was some sort of nuance to having the second one that would be used to pay back the borrowing one. So it's just you just got to have it at a higher amount so that it offsets any fees, I guess, or any.
You just want to make sure you don't borrow, and then you don't have something to mint from to pay off those borrows, and then Hedron does a run, and all of a sudden you're having to buy Hedron at a much higher price in order to make your your borrow repayments. But you really got to have a good reason, good thing that you want to swap it for. So the borrowing is really going to only start happening when Hedron goes up in price. What are you laughing at?
So I was just reading the comments.
Hey, do you know there was a Hex wedding in Vegas as well? So two of the Hexagons got married. And they're on Facebook, these Hexagons, Vanessa, Jane, Francis, and George J. Got married by a priest that was dressed as Elvis in one of the chapels there. You probably met them, Bloobum. Vanessa, blonde, big curly hair, big personality.
Oh, maybe I was dancing with her tonight. Yeah.
You probably were, because she's pretty out there, and then you would have seen a couple of her friends go by, Hex Travels, or Cindy, another couple of blonde ladies probably would have been with her.
Yeah.
So they just got married. So beautiful.
Yeah, right. In Vegas.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
So looks like there might be a few mashups coming. Maddie in Wales. Bluey and Jexxa mashups. Do some of those things where they morph it together.
Have you guys seen that there's like an Elvis movie coming out?
Is he making another one, is he?
I told you he wasn't dead.
Maybe it's like an AI.
Like Baz Luhrmann.
Oh, that was moving.
It's coming out soon. Like just his life story or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Should we do a bit of
bitch tits of the week?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'll line that up.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Is there any TA or anything tangent that at all? Like I don't want to put you on the spot, mate.
Down and to the right. Down and to the right. I just can I give a big shout out to my friend that one. He's the original bitch tits. He's the original big tit, bitch tit. Shout out to Young and Wild. We need to catch up, man. We need to catch up because we both live in the same city. I've told you guys the story. We went to uni together. He's an absolute lad.
Yeah, I saw him having wild parties on Twitter. Do you really know? So you know him?
We know each other. Yeah. We went to uni together. We did physics together.
Oh, cool. So did he get into Hex through you, Tangent, or by himself?
Not directly. I mean, I remember he said he saw one of my early videos, but I don't know whether that was what introduced him to Hex or not. Maybe. I'll have to ask him.
Has he got a wife who's into Hex as well?
Ooh, this is gonna make me sound like a bad friend. I don't
and
know.
They're in the Perth Telegram group. Great. I might be wrong.
It's something that I do pretty poorly. I don't ask when I'm out. I don't ask people about their shit. Like I don't ask them what they do for work. I don't ask them about their family and their kid if they've got kids or anything like that. Like, so typically, say he and I, we would either be reminiscing about uni, talking about Hex, talking about like cool like science shit, or just like general social shit like music, alcohol, etc. So we wouldn't really be talking about other topics. So I'll have to ask him.
But the only
Young and Wild is Par Hexcellence, by the way. Par Hexcellence is his name that he's changed to.
Same username. Oh, so he's in the chat right now. Richard Hart looking at doing his own wallet to replace MM. Well, remember when we were discussing it and it sounded like MetaMask hadn't done any restrictions and it was at the OpenSea level or something like that? It turns out I read something where it said it was both. So highlighting the centralization that exists in crypto with some of the key infrastructure that we use and how important it is to actually have, verifiably decentralized solutions.
Yep. Looking forward to that fork.
So yeah, I would be keen for Richard Hart to do a wallet. That'd be dope.
Yeah, fully. Hey.
Here we go. So we'll make an official call of. Hang on, where's the screen? You want to put the screen up? We made an official call of the price being at 10.7. We're all way off the mark again, but Hex Hodl has brought home the bacon. He was only 0.003 of a cent off, so that was a pretty good. And Jorgen and Wolf.
Hex Hodl.
Yes, Hex Hodl's taken out by just 100. What was that? 100%. Is he? And he's won. Cool. He's in the chat. So cool. Everyone else a little bit optimistic this week.
Sammy was close.
Yeah, Sammy does pretty good usually. Ash Tree's pretty good performer from week to week as well.
Any joke names in there? What's that one? What's this one? What does it say? All right, Bluey, tell us honestly. Tell us honestly, was that you that did that, or was it someone else?
No, I didn't do that.
Why don't I believe you?
And then Carlos joined us for a quick cameo as well.
Carlos who? Carlos.
43. I actually do believe Bloobum. I think he would own it if he was the one who did it. I think he would tell us.
Well, he said it last week on stream, so he doesn't have to
exactly.
slide to it like through the.
Why would you deny it after you've actually said it? So like, I believe him.
So I can't even read it. I'm going blind. What is it?
Who's going blind? Richard from Too Many Pulses.
I can't read. It was a rude. Was it a rude word? Don't worry. Don't worry about me.
They say too many pulses can make you blind.
Yeah.
That's true. Hey, did you see Sapper's comment before? You know how they were saying that they find it hard to tell the difference between Bloobum and Jexxa, and Sapper says he has the same problem with Brad Pitt. That's really funny.
I'm calling bullshit.
Hilarious. It's actually hilarious.
He's funny, Sapper. He is fun.
Congratulations, Hex Hodl.
You know Sapper. Do you guys know that the Sapper is our? I mean, maybe apart from Bloobum, but he is our oldest viewer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He was back in the old days when we had like 2 or 3 people. The Sapper was in the chat there, listening to uNrekt and me crap on in the first couple, and then Bluey came along. But hey, Bluey, what made you come on stream with us back then? Like, because there was only like when we started, there were only 2 or 3 people watching, and one of them had to be you, because you came on the next week.
Yeah. Well, you were just the Aussies who were doing it, and I just found Hex and was just like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" And I wanted to contribute to the community, and I just thought this would be a way I could contribute to it. Yeah.
Yep. That's fun.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Hex Hodl, congratulations. Bitch Tits of the Week. It's an honor. It's an absolute
Make sure you get your votes in for next week, guys and gals.
Oh, yep. Get your votes in for next week. Go to the website, www.titbit.ch.
I know you were pretty proud of that URL, but I think people have a lot of trouble with it.
Super easy. www.titbit.ch.
And you have to put the www. That's the thing. You can't just put titbit.ch. That's what.
That's the first time it worked for me when you put that link in our chat.
Yeah, you probably were missing the www.
How come it's sometimes you can do with www and sometimes not?
I thought Chrome automatically appended that on anyway when it couldn't find it. Could be wrong.
This is knowledge I used to know, and I can't remember right now why. World Wide Web. So that URL redirects to the actual URL of the website, whereas without the World Wide Web part of it, I don't know why it's not doing it.
So I just put it into Chrome and it redirected. Okay, I put it in without the www and it got there.
It's funny. I just put the www in and it took those W's out and just had, and then it going to YOLO site.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, so
been a very laid back episode this week, hasn't it? No talking over. Well, I don't think we've talked over each other too much. So hopefully, it's been a little bit better for everyone in chat.
There's still time for that, though.
There is. Any crazy questions from chat that you want to get off your chest that we can maybe help with?
When's PulseChain?
It doesn't have to be serious.
When's PulseChain's launching?
All right, everyone make a prediction. Bluey, when's PulseChain launching? Bluey?
April, start of April, like April 2.
Sammy?
April 1.
August. 17.
Seriously, August?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. Really? Tangent?
March 15. 1 week.
43?
May the 4th.
May.
Be with you.
May the 4th with you.
May the 4th.
Okay, I'll go April 28th. Why not? Sammy,
And chat all jumped in too.
What are you going to... Sammy, the community will be at each other's throats by then, by August.
I know, but I've heard goss on the street, Jex. I've heard goss saying June.
That's cheating.
Spill the beans then.
Saying next year.
Is that some like actual someone or?
Yeah. How's your source? Is it a reliable source?
No, they're all
or is
rat
it
bags.
just someone talking a big game?
Yeah, they're all rat bags on Twitter. But did you see that post? One of the devs said that they're not going to do it till next year or something like that. I mean,
Whoa.
I don't know.
Really?
Whoa.
Really?
It
No.
could be all
Which dev?
bullshit. I hope I'm wrong.
Which dev
I hope
said
I'm
that?
wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's why I don't know.
All right, so what?
My source.
I got
Okay, let's spend a bit of time on it and
skeptical
pull it
on that
apart. So, the only thing I think is missing at the moment is the Fixabot.
Yep.
Do you remember Richard saying that he had a lot of work to do reading the code for the Fixer bots? He said it was a lot of work. Do you remember he said on stream? Maybe that's where he's been doing all that.
I'm sure, no expectations, but I'm sure he's probably been busily beavering away on stuff like that. But yeah, like we've seen Pulse X, we've seen all the front end interface, we've seen that. That's actually looking pretty good. So I don't think we're too far away on that front. Mm-hmm. So really, that was the missing piece of the puzzle, was you needed that before you could test the Fixabot. So yeah, now we've just got to test the Fixabot, I guess.
But we can
make sure
we've seen the improve. We've seen as things come online, it becomes available, like on the testnet. We've seen it happen. So it's there. You can see, like, they've been working hard. I think they've been working really, really hard, and they deserve a lot of credit for what they've just got going on the testnet. Everything seems to be working really, really well. So props to them. I think they're doing a fantastic job, and they should keep it up. What they're doing right now, whatever they're doing, keep it up. You guys are doing a fantastic job. All the devs out there working on this stuff. There are people out there that are going to complain. They're going to bitch and moan about. I say, you guys are doing a great job. Keep up this high standard that you guys have. That's what we love. And that's why we're attracted to this ecosystem, because you're a bunch of people who like to do things the right way, and we like to interact with things that are done the right way. So keep it up. Good work, guys.
Did you guys see the tweets that Richard put out with the screenshots of some of the things that he was looking at? Like, it
was this relating to the V3 pools or?
It was just all sorts of stuff. I guess it was relating to the V3 pools. But there was a few tweets which had all sorts of really kind of just complex stuff and how they were trying to solve them. It's just like,
okay, I've probably got to go back and I had a cursory read of a few of those. Richard was obviously trying to get ideas from people in the community, but I haven't fully understood what the issue is with the V3 pools yet, so I need to.
Even though I think it was showing what are the kind of things that they're dealing with. It was just very interesting.
Oh yeah. Do you guys want to hear some incredibly good news for HEX?
Yes.
Sure. So, 43, if you want to share my screen, I just took a quick look at the liquidity pool distribution. And you know how for a while I've been saying that it would be really helpful if the whale or whales who had installed the massive buy wall were to remove some of the liquidity above the price as the price has been dropping to give it less resistance to the upside.
Yep.
It looks like that has happened. If you remember, the wall used to basically come down at an even gradient and just continue through all the way across. But now see how it steps down and then down again. So, I mean, look, this thing scales itself. So it's one of either someone has added a shit ton more on the buy side or removed from the sell side, but it amounts to the same thing where there's now an asymmetry in the buy pressure and the sell pressure. But I'm talking about passive pressures here. So these are passive pressures. They're bids and asks to get eaten into, not the sorts of pressure that actually moves the price around. So but this is great news.
I think there was 23 million in there previously, or 21 million, I thought. So maybe, like you're saying, something's been removed off the front side of that.
Yeah, I think it's more likely that they've removed it from the front end. So that
seems
good.
like a very altruistic type thing for a liquidity provider to do. I mean, they
absolutely.
That's like they've got the impermanent loss when that happens, but by removing it and putting it back there, it becomes permanent loss, really. So that is like, we're lucky we've got liquidity providers who are doing that sort of thing.
Yep.
And how does it look on the 0.3% pool?
Let me just grab that.
Which pool was that?
That was the 1%.
So that was the one. That was the 1%. That was the one that had the massive ice wall, Bluey. And then this is the point. So on the other one, we're actually, according to if this was your only liquidity pool, that would be like the price about to go into free fall to $0 because it's right at the back end. It's at the bottom end of the LP.
So it's more expensive to get out than it is to buy into.
Yep. So you take a bigger hit selling than you do buying.
Yeah.
It's 1%
in terms of slippage. Yeah.
1% is the buy fee, and 0.3% is the 1% is the sell fee, and 0.3% is the buy fee.
No.
It's interesting what you can do with V3.
Two different liquidity pools. They're two different liquidity pools.
Yeah. So what Bluey's saying is there's a premium if you want to sell of 1% because that's what the rate's going to be.
Yes.
If you want to buy, you're getting it at 0.3.
You could get some of it at 0.3. Yeah, good point. Yeah. But you'd also be eating through the other book, assuming you're using an aggregator. Then you'd be, but it doesn't really. Yeah. This is good news. Looking at these, that's good news.
No, it's changed the game, V3, and the way you do things on decentralized exchanges. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very interesting.
All right. Well, guys, we're coming up on 2 hours. How's that? Just before we finish up, Jexxa, how's that liquid loan sacrifice going? Is it still going now?
Yeah, due to finish on. I should know this date off the top of my head. We're probably 3/4 of the way through it now, I would imagine.
There's a bonding curve.
Yeah, bonding curve. It was a
5%?
30 day in total bonding curve. So 5% each day after the 10th day. So still, you can still. The good thing about the way that one was structured is if you're taking a hit on the 5% per day, you can make up ground by delaying gratification for a month because you get an extra 6% bonus per month you delay. So you can actually offset that that worse rate by choosing to delay when you get your tokens by a month or two. So still, you can still make up ground doing that as part of that sacrifice. But yeah, it's gone really well. I haven't checked the numbers in terms of total wallets, but there's been a lot of wallets. Like a wallet count has been phenomenal. Really good wallet count. So it just shows the strength of the community, I think. I mean, what we've just seen with Hedron, we've seen everyone come in and support it, start minting and claiming. So Hexagons have proved, if nothing else, that they're willing to get behind things within the community. We've seen this from when liquidity went on to Matic. So when that first arrived, everyone took a bunch of liquidity across to QuickSwap and supported initiatives over there. So the community is really strong in doing the things that we needed to make new projects or HEX as well succeed. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Looking forward to our new playground on PulseChain.
How many days in? I just want to. How many days into that sacrifice are we? Like into the bonding curve?
Oh, just give me 1 sec. I'll get you the details. I should know this
So
off the top of my head. But
if he said we're 3/4 in, and it was the first week that was flat rate?
Hang on.
So it'd be in the did you say there were 3 or 4 weeks of the bonding curve?
I think
it should be 10 days flat and 20 days. Yeah, so 10 days flat.
Yep.
30 days total. We're at day 18, so we're just over midway.
So 8 days into the bonding curve.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, cool. Hey, if anyone knows Bluey hasn't told anyone to shut up tonight.
Shut up,
I asked for that.
So I'm going to revise my guess for when Pulse launches to be a day after the LL SAC ends, just because Richard is a nice guy.
I wish it was that soon, but I don't think it's going to be, Tangent.
So just for the liquid loans, if you were to sack now, it's like a 1.47, which really isn't. Still, it's not too bad. If that's something that you want to sacrifice for, you still can.
Yeah, and so someone's just asked, can you explain the lockup? So we're pretty much used to the bigger pays better now, which is the volume multiplier that you've seen in PulseX and Pulse sacrifices. Liquid Loans has a longer pays better component as well. So you can sacrifice the same amount but delay for up to 24 months. And if you delay getting your tokens issued for 24 months, you can do a 2.5x. So it's pretty much an extra 6% per month, except for month 24, which is 12%. So if you wanted to make up ground, you could just delay getting your tokens, which is good. What we've actually seen happen is don't quote me on the numbers, I think it's something like about 38% of the sacrifice have elected to lock up for 24 months. I think it's about 37% have said they want it day one, and I think about 20% the midway mark, and then the rest of it sort of falls either side across that whole distribution there from month 1 to 24. So what that means is it bodes well for there's not big supplies coming to market all at once, so it just evens out the distribution curve. So yeah, that's going to be helpful, we think, or we hope. We hope it's going to be helpful.
Awesome, guys. Last, let's wrap it up. Last final words, Sammy.
Thanks for having me again, guys. Good to see you, and always good to see you. And thanks for coming, chat. Hopefully, you can come on Saturday to the Sydney meetup at the Squires Landing, from 1 p.m. onwards. A few of us are all going to be down there. It's going to be awesome fun to meet you guys. Can't wait.
Awesome, Louis.
Yeah. If anyone's in Las Vegas, grab me aside and let's have a conversation. And really glad to be here, and it's been awesome being on again. And thanks, chat, all your questions and everything. And love you guys. And cheers.
Jexxa.
Strap in. It's going to be a big year. We've got a lot of good things coming down the Hex Pulse community highway. So jump on. There's going to be plenty to learn, plenty of opportunities. Yeah, I'm really looking forward. I think when Pulse finally launches, there's a lot of people that have got a lot of pent up energy that want to just get on and start using the network. So I think it's going to be really exciting. So make sure you're staying in tune with everything that's going on.
Tangent.
BTFD.
Yep. That's all you got to do.
Be the fucking dip. Oh, bro, the fucking dip.
Bye.
BTFD and stay free. That's all you need to do.
Awesome. Thanks to everyone in the chat. We love you all. Thanks for interacting with us, asking us questions. Yeah, and let's wrap it up, guys. My Brady bunch right here.
I love that. It's awesome.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next week, eh?
See ya.
Cheers, guys.